Hello everyone, welcome in. Hello. All good things must come to an end, and today is the final stream from Empires Season 2. I hope you're all having a good day. My name is Pixlriffs, welcome to your Sunday Minecraft live stream.
Well, that's just
Unusually, we are doing 2 Sundays in a row because my Dungeons & Dragons group is off this weekend. So instead of 8-bit Dungeons, I get to stream some Minecraft, which is good because I still have a lot of castle to build. It is at the point now where I am having to cut my losses and reckon with the fact that I'm not going to be able to finish building everything. And it's because I go away for a week. Empire's server's going to close down in that time. But I think we'll be able to get a fair amount done. I have the schematic imported for everything I'm going to be able to do. And then I think either we're going to leave some parts of the castle sort of in ruins and throw a bunch of cobblestone blocks around and tough and whatnot, and it's just going to be, ruined looking. Alternatively, if we end up publishing a world download, it could be a good way for other people to come in and see what they can build there and kind of carry on the castle. Which kind of makes sense for the castle thematically as well, so I kind of like that. You can do some archaeology for us. But yeah, we're gonna do this stuff on stream. This is going to be, I might play like a little bit later tonight, maybe a bit tomorrow if I have time, but I probably need to pack because I go away on Tuesday. So yeah, I will not be able to do a great deal more on it, and this is probably going to be the final stream for a little while at least. We'll see what happens when I come back from Spain, whether 1.20 is out or not. We might just play some Minecraft bingo in the meantime, to be honest, because I'll kind of enjoy just like the downtime of doing that. But either way, I've got some people to thank before we start off here. Stellaris Lex, thank you for the 15 months. Bimunculus, thank you for the 15. Sebastian Bornaz, thank you so much for the 8 months. State of Disgrace, thank you for the 8 months as well. Yeah, we'll see what happens. Sucks you're not able to keep the world and finish the plans off. I mean, I could keep a world download, but the thing is, yeah, like, keeping the world online as a server doesn't make any sense when everyone's already done their finales, right? My finale will be out towards the end of May, and yeah, like, as usual with Minecraft projects, there is always more you can do. It's a matter of understanding when to cut your losses, when other people are done with the world especially, and, could this all have been achieved with better planning, with the inspiration coming sooner, whatever else, like, probably. But, yeah, honestly, I think it's fine the way it is. Like, this is typically what happens with Minecraft projects that aren't made for commercial purposes, is that, you don't necessarily see completion on some of these projects the same way other people might. Bin again, thanks so much for the 4 months. Sad to see it end. Glad I could catch the stream. Absolutely, we gotta enjoy the time we had together with this Empire's world. And I do love this world so much. I love the world seed. Like, fell in love with it as soon as I saw it, and I think this season has been great. I think I've enjoyed working with folks and building this thematic place a lot. So we will log in and we will see what we can get done. First of all, I haven't got the... I'm still a ghost. That's still happening. I haven't got the replay mod running quite yet because there are a few things that I need to check whether or not I have. So this section over here is what we're going to be building, and I can show you that I've been doing a little bit more building in the meantime, because I obviously wanted to get as much done as I could, and I've been planning a lot of this stuff ahead of time. There is a big copper roof in there now. I've been planning all of this in creative, and then today I've been doing as much of it as I possibly can in survival. So we're going to have a throne room over here. There's a kind of overgrown conservatory sunroom thing over here that's maybe going to have been more kind of where the the plants were grown in the castle, where there was some sort of like gardens of some kind. We've got one little like conference room over here. I was thinking Volcano Manor from Elden Ring when I did those two rooms specifically. We've already got the sanctum built. This right here is going to be the throne room. It's just got a big wooden roof on it. The back half of that is broken out because this section here is like the cliff has crumbled and it's all fallen away. We're going to remove those blocks. If we have time, we might put a bit of ruined stuff down here. But then a lot of these other like back buildings in the castle, again, the back is not going to be finished. You can tell we collaborated with Hermitcraft this season. So I think we'll do that. We'll get this tower done, and that'll probably be it for the stream. I also didn't quite paste in all of the schematic area that included some boulders that I was putting there, so we can always add those if we have the time. The main thing I want to go and grab right now is in here, we need some glow berries, we need a lot of leaves, and I don't think I brought a huge amount of those with me. We need some dead bushes as well. There's like azalea and stuff in here, some peonies and roses. I might just go and grab all of those first. Voided Mirror, thank you for the 12 months. And Watch 'em Chick, thank you for the 12-month resub, the full year of support. Everyone spam the word nerd in the chat, please. Thank you so much for the full year supporting the channel. Enjoy that nerd sub badge, and welcome to the Nerd Herd. We got a hype train rolling, so a few more people to thank. Magpirate Twitch, thank you for the 100 bits. Teeny Bit with the 15 months. Grizzle McThornbody with the 11 months of Prime. Ginger, thank you for gifting a sub to Kel Birdie. And yeah, Voided Mirror, once again, thank you for the 11-month resub there. All right. We got some flowering azalea. We got some mangrove leaves. I think I still have a lot of those somewhere else as well. We need some azalea. We need some flowering and azalea saplings. I considered for a little bit putting some of the mangrove trees inside of here and making it kind of like a really overgrown, like hothouse kind of environment. But yeah, I didn't quite like the way the mangrove trees generated, and I didn't have time to build custom ones. We'll grab some moss, because we'll need that. We don't have anything in there. We'll need a lot of glass, but we have loads of glass, so that's fine. I don't think we need anything from the mud range of stuff. The main thing I'm looking for right now is these, the glowberries. We won't be able to, like, place all of the glowberries manually. I also have a ton of small drip leaf, which I'm very happy about because I wanted to include that in some details as well. Grabbed a bunch of that from a lush cave early on with no real idea of what I was going to do with it, but now we know. Mysterious Crow, thank you for gifting 5 subs, taking us over the line for the hype train. Many thanks for that. Let's blow the goat horn and ponder for a second. I think maybe my sounds are off. Jukebox, note blocks, there we go. There we go, ponder that for a second. And I think we can probably make a start with what we have and then go back and pause the time lapse later if we need to. First of all, though, we're going to work on some other stuff. We have to build the things that all of these plants are hanging in. We might start with that tower at the front, though. It's really annoying to collect mangrove. Mangrove leaves is fine. And honestly, mangrove wood is fine as long as you have the right sort of setup for it. We'll put all the glass and stuff in here. This is going to be like the hothouse box, I suppose. And let's see, we'll grab this, we'll grab this. Working from these, like, ever more convoluted collections of shulker boxes. So I have now gone and raided the entirety of Fwip's storage system. Like, all of the stone in these shulkers right here has been from Fwip. And I think there's a couple more in here somewhere. Or there were a couple more at the last count. Where did I get to? Yeah, I had to build this entire thing, which is just a massive stone box, really. But that's the Great Hall, so this is where you come in from the entrance hall. And there's a few tables around, like it's kind of loosely decorated. I might throw some glow lichen around in here later. This leads through to the kitchen, which I still need to outfit properly, do the roof for, that kind of thing. This leads through to the pantry that way, and this sort of kitchen garden area on this side. Yeah, I raided Fwip's storage for basically all the stone I could find, and there is still some over there in some of the shulker boxes that he left around, so it may be that we go and grab some of that as well. But anyway, in the meantime, I think we're probably going to start up here with this section. I got some deep slate from there as well, so we can do these deep slate tile sections. But for now, we're going to reduce the schematic down to the level where we can kind of build this up from scratch, and we're just going to carve out those blocks and get moving from there, I think. Okay. Just going to reconnect with a replay mod. Probably take my jumper off, actually, because I'm kind of warm now. Are other people still playing on Empires today and yesterday? I don't think today. A few people might have just been, like, finishing recording a couple of things. I know Ollie did a bit a couple of weeks ago. Not weeks ago, days ago. Right. But I don't think we'll see anybody else on today unless they're logging in special for some reason. To get, like, thumbnails or whatever. Let's start by sleeping. Always the best way to start a time-lapse. Teeny Bit, thank you for the 600 bits. That's not teeny at all. That's a lot. And Ginger, thank you for gifting another sub to Manky Hamster. What a name. All right. Let's get this stuff taken care of first. Yeah, and that looks like it kind of extends up there. So we've got andesite here. So, yeah, once again, apologies if I'm not paying too much attention to chat this stream in general. I know a lot of people will probably want to, you know, express their sorrow that Empire's SMP is ending so soon or whatever. But I'm not going to have time to read too many of those messages, unfortunately, because I have a lot of building to do. So, hopefully you'll forgive me. I think I maybe have some polished basalt in a chest somewhere else, but we'll go with what we have. Okay, this all needs to go. Yep, that's all broken out. Break out this stuff as well. And start down here with the andesite and the basalt again. It's my standard palette at this point. A little bit of tuff around the edges. Let's go with tuff. Let's bring in some mud, probably. At least I have the option to go and farm some more mud if I need some more. The other problem with Lightmatica is that it will take the block that your head is in as the block that you're looking at. I think that's just by virtue of how Minecraft's pick block system works. So every so often,
well,
there we go, regular basalt. Yeah, I will end up pick blocking something that's like in my headspace. That's not mud. What is that? What does that say it is? Deep slate on its side. Ah, right. Okay, I've done that. Yes, we'll grab that from the box as well. Got plenty of that. Somewhere. Unless I broke it all down. Well, I'm not going to go smelting deep slate right now, so let me finish this side first. Tough there. This is all stone. Because this is all stuff that adjoins the wall, so no reason for it not to be stone at this point. And that's a stone bricks, because of course it is. Okay, so we need deep slate for those, and mud for each of the other blocks there. This is just more stone, because it's hidden. Great. Pause the recording, going to get more deep slate, because I have loads of Silk Touch deep slate around. Excited to see the finished vassal, as in castle. It is a castle. It is a vassal. It's not going to be completed, because I will not have time to finish building absolutely everything, because I have to design it all, but yeah, the design process has been going well in creative. It's just a limited amount of time at this stage, but there are sections that if people get a world download, they can finish themselves, and otherwise it's a ruined castle anyway, is what I've been saying all along. So if things end up feeling incomplete, it is just because the passage of time has worn them down to a shadow of their former self. And now we'll start to need some of the other bits and pieces. So we can put away all of the darker blocks. Yeah, I really didn't have any deep slate in there. That's kind of incredible, actually. Is there anything that I can condense into a single stack here? Not really. There's just like 1s and 2s that feel like this is very inefficient storage. We need bundles in all the shulker boxes. That's what we need. Let's get some of these. We'll turn an entire stack into stone brick stairs, because goodness knows we'll need a lot of those on this stream. And we'll put one here and one here, and we start building up like that. And this is another stone brick stair, because this castle tower is a little convoluted. It's going to come out there like this, and up like that. Let's quickly bump this down a layer so that I don't end up with the stone brick blocks interfering. And we've got one there as well, and that should be good. How's everybody's day going? Did you watch Eurovision last night? Because I did, and I thought it was quite good, actually. I thought the acts this year were all pretty impressive. There were a couple that I didn't like as much, but I feel like a lot of people tried very hard. A lot of people made a lot of effort. I feel sad for Germany more than anything, because Germany is kind of like, not to like tar them with this particular brush, but they're kind of like the new UK, where like it feels like they've made the effort this year, but they're getting no recognition for that, considering that previous years they haven't done so well and the songs didn't quite like hit the mark, and this year they really brought something that they thought seemed like a worthy contender, and it really didn't get any recognition from the public vote or the juries. Surprised the UK had any points. Honestly, I think our act did okay, but I mean, we didn't need the points anyway, because we were I guess unofficially hosting it on Ukraine's behalf, and we'd done so well last year that it feels like we can rest on our laurels a little bit now. You know, it sort of feels like we informally won last year, even though obviously Ukraine brought a cool act and deserved the win. Do I prefer this year's UK song or last year's? Definitely last year's. I think Sam Ryder's actually really good. It was so cool seeing him play with Roger Taylor on drums. That was awesome. And I hope that was one of the portions of the night which wasn't like mimed, because a lot of the acts, so they don't have to do a sound check for like 26 different acts, the vocals are all done live, but the vocals are performed to a backing track, and any performers on stage are typically miming their instruments. And so I really hope that wasn't the case for Sam Ryder's whole number with Roger Taylor. Not sure the recording was restarted. It wasn't. Thank you for pointing that out there. That's fine. Like, if bits of this get skipped over, they just won't appear in the recording. It's not like I have to take the whole thing down and start again. This is a massive time lapse. It's going to be probably the longest time lapse I've ever done. But that's fine, because I'm going to like narrate over whole sections of it. So it's not going to be like this all happens with like music and no commentary. It's not going to be that kind of time lapse this time. Rendering struggles intensify. Yeah, I think that's probably what I'm going to end up doing once we return from Spain. So for folks who haven't been around for my last couple of streams, I'm going on holiday to Spain on Tuesday. We're going for the best part of a week. When I return, I will probably be rendering all of the footage from this massive time-lapse that I've been recording of the castle being built. And I think that's going to be my way of, like, easing back into it after the holiday, is just spending some time figuring out the camera angles and stuff, hitting render, and then just playing Marvel Snap until it's done, and then and then coming back, and that will be a nice easy day of work. But it will be a day. Like, I will have to do an awful lot of rendering to get all of the time lapses from the last however long done. Okay, now we need to go back for the wood box. Ruby Kobayashi, thank you so much for the 15 months. 9 Foxy Game, thank you for the 15 as well. Turtle Jockey, thank you for the 27. I'll need the basalt as well, which we have already. I knew I had some somewhere, but that's only one piece. Where are the rest of them? We'll bring the spruce planks too, because I believe I will need those for the roof. The roof, as we were saying last stream. That's probably where we'll leave that. Yeah, I always feel like I'm going to collide with the schematics here. There's still a little bit of texture work there. Is that visible from the outside? Oh, it is. Okay. Well, we better get that taken care of then, hadn't we? This one I decided to go lighter on the texture than I have on the previous ones, simply because I didn't have the time to do a detailed job of texturing this one. But that will be entirely fine, I think. It can just be like a little bit of that, and that's enough to sell it, really. There will be very little texturing done on the rest of the castle in general, actually. We'll see what we have time for. And luckily I do have plenty of fireworks as well. Satsuma, thank you for the 32 months. That's 32 months prime as well, so you've had to come back and do that every month. It's impressive. Right. We've got a nice, easy, double high row of dark oak planks around the outside here, which are broken with a axe, not a pickaxe. Gonna have to remember all of this stuff for when I reboot Survival Guide. Oh, I tell you what, though. I'm so happy that on the last stream we went and got Swift Sneak. It has genuinely made this building process feel faster. Even if it isn't faster, I'm moving faster. Which honestly feels highly worth it. Let's put a few more of those into polished basalt. And we need deep slate bricks, which I don't have right now. But if I take maybe half of that, I can turn that into deep slate brick slabs. There we go. Okay, I caught the stone cutter. I dropped something else. Oh, that's stairs. Do I have stairs? I have one set of deep slate brick stairs. Okay. Well, a couple of those are incorrect for now. Let's correct them. Problem with looking at them from the top down like this is all I see is a slab, and it's actually a stair. Does it go? It goes this way? Right. Okay. That should be easy enough. Where did I get that slab? There it is. Boop. Be collecting these back up then. Any plans for the future, or is that a secret? Rebooting Survival Guide for a Season 3. Empires is on an indefinite hiatus. We don't know if Empires is going to come back or not. We do have some other stuff planned here and there. But, yeah, not like a formal Season 3 of Empires, as far as I'm aware. Obviously, the group is going to be keeping in touch, even if we end up going our separate ways. A lot of the other folks already collaborate on different stuff anyway. Demoline, not feeling well. Sorry to hear that. Hope you feel better soon. Okay, and this is where we get stone bricks on the corners. Dark oak stairs attached to those. This is very much following the architectural trend of the other dark oak and spruce roofs that we've had around this place. Yes, I would like to have some stairs, thank you. We'll need one more set of those. Is False no longer playing on Empires? Well, nobody is any longer playing on Empires. I'm like the last one to log in and record anything. Like that the Empires all got happier endings this time around? Good, I'm glad you liked that. I like that too. Recently started watching Season 2 of Survival Guide. I have to say, if anything is a worthy successor to PSJ's Survive and Thrive, it's that series. A very high compliment. Thank you very much. Genuinely makes me happy to hear that, because obviously that was sort of the benchmark for people learning to play survival Minecraft. And I never watched that series. I kind of like picked up stuff from reading the wiki and watching other like Let's Plays, but I know its importance to the community in general, so it makes me very happy to hear that. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to coming back into Survival Guide with Season 3 and shaking things up a little bit. That's just going to be a row of blocks on the top. That's fine. No super fancy roof ornaments with this one. That's all taken care of now. Doesn't that feel like a faster building process? Swift Sneak. It's all about Swift Sneak. So now we can move on to this whole area, and gosh, there's a lot of this to take care of. First of all, I think we'll do this wall, and we'll start by doing that with stone and then add the stone brick in afterwards. I think it's probably the best way to do it, even though it's going to feel like a bunch of the blocks are wrong when we place them. Okay, we can't place the basalt. That will probably have to do. We'll just bring all of this stone, and then we'll add the stone brick in later, because this way we can build the wall pretty fast. We can just kind of do this. Ignore the red blocks for now. They'll all get fixed later. This isn't quite a tall enough wall for me to want to do the... Oh, hang on. That get fixed there, actually. Yeah, there was a couple of these I had to rejig because of the formation of the wall in front. Ignore the foliage. Ah, I feel like I'm going through a jungle. Yeah, a couple of those I ended up fixing. And if this ends up being like a lot of flickering and stuff, I do apologize. It tends to get that way around the leaves and stuff anyway. But if I'm like stepping up through these things and you get flickering images, I'm sorry. If that's at all a concern for you, then do feel free to click away. Have I gone on my vacation already? No, I am not on vacation, as you can tell from the fact that I'm working. No, my trip to Spain starts on Tuesday, so I'll be away for the next, like, 3 streams, basically. Which is why this is the last stream from Empires. Whilst I was building the big, like, Great Hall kind of structure over there, I did end up using that trick where you rebind the place block key to a keyboard key, and you end up placing blocks really fast if you use that. Hello. Yeah, that was super handy for building long, large, flat walls like that, but obviously once the wall design gets a little more complex, or if the wall itself is a little bit shorter, sort of unnecessary, and if anything ends up too fiddly with all of the rebinding and stuff, when you can just click a whole bunch like this and it works out just fine. And I could also be using easy place mode for all of this, which would make it a lot faster, but I'm also kind of fine not doing that. We've started that way, so we'll finish that way. We've got a few other bits and pieces going on here, but that's fine. This wall needs to be a few more blocks higher. Still remember watching you build the statue or the storage system in Catacombs. I'll miss Empires. I'm still really, really happy with that build. I want to do more stuff like that in future. I think knowing how to use Lightmatica is one of the best things this series has taught me this time around. Okay, that's part of the tower, so that can go around there. But yeah, like learning to use Lightmatica for this season has made me a lot more confident in the ability to build bigger stuff. Because the problem I've always had with building big before is that even if you plan it out in creative, which is a really sensible thing to do when you're building something large and committing to a build on that sort of scale, if you put a couple of blocks wrong and like the whole thing is off by 1 and things don't connect, it can be the most demotivating thing, because you end up having to either take down a massive build that you've done, or you end up leaving something that feels very incomplete, and it's often very difficult to adapt to a situation like that. So having Lightmatica as a building aid this time around has been so valuable. Maybonix, thank you for the 10 months. Trisha, thank you for the 1,000 bits. So very kind of you. Morning, Silvery, welcome in. Okay, yeah, really tearing through the stone at this point, but that wall is now built. And we could start on the roof right away, but I think it's probably best to start with the supporting walls and everything as well. Like I said, I know where there is more stone, and we can start to add in some of these little stone brick touches as well. Let's see if I have any stone bricks anywhere that's not any of the boxes I'm carrying. Got a few in here. No more stacks there. Yeah, I've got plenty there. Good. So yeah, we'll just make sure that nothing else exists along there, and then we'll do scaffolding all the way to the top. Back here will do. I didn't want to build too many of the walls like this, but honestly, it's easy enough. Cool. Is that all done? And that wall would probably be covered up by whatever this room is if I had a design for this room, but I don't. This is a spiral staircase. And in here, we just start building the wooden frame around these windows. And probably sort out what's going on with this wall, actually. Okay. One block of moss behind there. Probably see it better from this side. There we go. More moss. I'm stuck in a hole. That will grow. And yeah, this is all going to change. Hey, what's up, Queen Kiwi? Welcome in. Let's hop back over here. I think at this point we can bring some of these with us. This is the one I've got in reserve, and yeah, this one for all of the mossy bits and pieces, azalea, that kind of thing. Let's stash a few of these things away just for this trip, though. That's my backup gear, which I can just put in the ender chest. Mostly putting away my diamond hoe. Watch'em Chick, thank you for gifting that sub to Durian. Very kind of you. Thank you very much. Let's bring these. We'll leave these two here since they don't have any vital resources in, and since I can't carry any more anyway. Okay. So the green shulker box contains stone. The stone-coloured shulker box contains leaves. Can you tell this was a very organised production? That's the one we want. We want moss. We want mossy cobblestone. We want cobblestone to be made mossy. We want mossy stone bricks. And then I think we can make a start here. Stone bricks go above that. Regular stone there. And then a couple of mossy bricks on this side. Doesn't really matter what goes there because there's a moss block in front of that. And we can make a few more mossy stone bricks if we need to for these. Got a couple more stacks of mossy material, but I don't want to waste this if I can help it. That one was surplus to Okay, and I've got loads of stone bricks there. Can I make mossy stone brick stairs from regular stone brick stairs? No, I need to make it into mossy stone brick and then convert it from there. Okay. Worth knowing. A couple of logical leaps we need to make. Stash those again. Stonecutter is our best friend right now. That's wood. These are all regular stone brick stairs. That's also wood. There is two more. Okay, 2 more mossy stone brick stairs and we're good. Is it just me and Ollie who hasn't done finales? You tell me. I haven't been able to keep track of absolutely everybody's. And while we do it at the start of the season, like I always like to keep like a Discord chat with a set of like links to people's videos, both so we can go check them out and so we know who's published what. But we tend to fall off that by the end of the season. So a couple of people I think have posted in there that they did their finales, but I don't know if everybody has done that. Where's me azalea? There it is. Where can I hop over now? There. That'll do. So this is all going to be azalea because it's all supposed to be trailing out from a window where the plants have grown through and broken through the glass. We'll get to the glass part in a bit, I think. But I still can't really jump through this. And this is another one of those situations in which I'm taking heavy inspiration from Elden Ring. Is there's a lot of places where you can jump down from something that you can't then jump back up to. I kind of like the idea of people having almost like a one-way system to explore some of this. Anyway, let's get rid of some of this chaos whilst I reorganize my thoughts here. Okay, we need spruce logs. Do we need much else? Stone, glass. So this is the point at which we start needing that box that I've completely lost the place of now. There it is. Stone, glass. And we'll convert some of the glass into panes now. I probably have a lot of glass panes stashed somewhere, but I'm just kind of making materials as I go here. Now the question is, if you don't watch the final episodes, does the season actually end? Yes. Solipsism doesn't work in this scenario. We are the ones who observe this stuff. Wait, is that not spruce? Is that... Oh, it's stripped dark oak. Okay. Well, that's fine. Have plenty of that too. We spent the entirety of the last stream farming dark oak, pretty much, so can put the spruce away then. Just have to remember to strip the logs as we go then. Okay. Now the glass is actually going to be kind of interesting because there's mostly clear glass panes here. But then there are glass blocks there, and there's also a variety of different color glass panes around this, mostly to show that there are broken edges, because with connected textures on, when you end up with glass panes side by side, they tend to you tend to look at that edge and it's transparent, and then you can't see the outline of a broken section of a window. But I prefer working with connected textures for all kinds of other things, so... The other thing is, this isn't going to look like a fully connected texture in the Lightmatica schematic, but it is once I place the blocks in. So I just need to make sure that doesn't trip me up at all. Probably put the shovel away in favor of the glass panes now. Right. Strip that. That one's wrong. Need something to attach that to. Yeah, we've got like grey stained glass there, there, and there to kind of give the impression this section of the window has been broken out. We need to learn more than the absolute basics for Lightmatica one of these days. The absolute basics will take you a very long way in this mod, so I can certainly recommend getting started with it to anybody who hasn't tried it before. This is going to be one long log beam, like this. And that's going to do the same thing here, actually. Forming the frame for that and this. Good. Actually, I might as well build these windows up to the height I know they reach. And then we can just build everything around them. The glass panes would be the awkward thing to place anyway. Yeah, good. And once again, we reach out to the side like that. I think this one goes vertical for some reason. And then we start on the roof. Of course, for there to be a roof here, we should probably build the side walls. Oh, it is, of course, International Mother's Day for countries outside the UK. So, happy mothers to you all. What is this? If it's not one of those, it's more mossy stone brick. Okay. If I can find the moss, there it is. Makes sense I wanted to do a lot of that. This is kind of a greenhouse after all. Okay, those layers are both stone. That works. And then we got some more mossy stone bricks in there. We start the silhouette of this next tower. See you later, Grey Cat. Have a good one. You're at 55 minutes if you want to watch the VOD. I was watching an Elden Ring streamer the other day who was always told people where in the VOD they were, like where in the stream they were if they wanted to come back, which I thought was such a like grade A Chad move that I decided to start doing that for myself. If I remember to do it, which will be seldom because I have a bad memory for these things, but I like that as a bit of streamer etiquette. It was a very, very cool thing to do. It was one of the first things that I saw him do, heard him say, like, when I started watching the stream, and I was like, that's a cool idea. Like, that's a very, very smart idea. Especially since, like, his stuff was all, I think, casual Elden Ring runs that he was grabbing footage while he was streaming but not recording the commentary, so he, like, do post-commentary about, like, his build or the challenge or whatever it was later. But people would want to come back and like listen to the stuff that they talked about. Kind of like you will with like a podcast or whatever. So it seemed like kind of a nice thing to do for your audience, to let them know where they could pick up the VOD if they wanted to rewatch it. Am I still a ghost? Yes. So is the rest of the castle, actually. So it kind of makes sense, right? I have a dirt block on me. I do. Look at that. I can fill that in. It'll turn into grass later. People could note that down themselves, though. It even says the time on mobile nowadays. Yeah, and I think often when it will recommend me streamers who I was watching before through the Twitch interface, it will let me know where in the VOD I was, or it will have saved the position in the VOD so I can continue watching, but it's kind of nice to just do anyway. Grab a little more moss from whichever box that was. I have 2 stacks of moss in one of these somewhere else, so should be fine. It's also really weird when you're looking at these in Lightmatica because occasionally you just open a different block because it's overlaying the shulker box there with like the texture of oak planks, so that just looks like a set of planks that I've managed to open somehow through some arcane force. These are all actually now gonna be stripped mangrove, which I have plenty of mangrove logs, so I'm kind of happy doing that. Nebraska, welcome in. Thank you for the 26. Insert something witty about 26 months. There's nothing witty about 26 months. We all know what the funny numbers are, and 26 is not one of them, but I appreciate the effort. Thank you for coming in. Thanks for the resub as well. How is it that whenever I'm placing all of these blocks, I always manage to get like one going in the wrong direction? What's one of my favorite builds from Empires? The Great Bridge is one of my favorites of the stuff I've done. Of the stuff other people have done, I mean, there's so much cool stuff I can't possibly pick. Also, if you ask that question in the context of what other people have done, it seems so big-headed of me to be like, oh yeah, my bridge that I built. Don't know if you've heard of it. Really big bridge. Thanks. Can I build this from the opposite side because there's like paintings on the wall on this side, and we know that paintings render weirdly, so I've actually told it to ignore entities, but I also can't see exactly what's behind each of those dark oak sections if I go layer by layer. And I don't want to do like stuff relative to X and Z coordinates because that always just gets messy for me at least. We do need the andesite though. Should I just continue building this wall? Yeah, I might continue building that wall. So I'll grab a bit more stone and stone brick and I'll just potter my way through that wall, I think. And then we'll do this corridor a little bit later. Scaffold up here. I can get all above all of the plants and whatnot. We can just be looking at this. At this point, I think we reached the top of the area that the moss has crept up in the stone brick, so... Stone stairs, okay, we'll ignore that. That's part of the corridor anyway. Big bridge, no idea what that is, yeah. He calls it a great bridge, but how great is it really? Yeah. It's pretty just okay, yeah. Nobody calls it the okay bridge, do they? It's great for a reason. Only the OK Corral was okay? This is very true. Is it called the OK Corral because it was in Oklahoma? Genuinely don't know anything about that place. How does the mob that shows the blueprint work exactly? Is it a projection of a build I've made in a private world? Exactly. You can specify the area for it to copy and make the blueprint from as well. So you, it defaults to just like a wooden stick, but I tend to use a wooden axe because I carry sticks on me a lot and I don't always carry a wooden axe. And you can assign that tool to be the thing that controls how the projection works. So if I wanted to, I could move this entire thing over 3 blocks. I don't want to right now because it's in the right place, and that would mess up all of my plans. But yeah, you can have a lot of like fine-tuning, a lot of control over it, which is really great. Alright, and that's where the roof continues. Got some andesite and tuff up here for some reason. Oh, that's stone brick stairs. Right. Yeah, I know what's happening here. It's the section of the next wall starting to converge. Okay, well, in that case, we can probably now start doing the wooden roof parts. This is surplus to requirements only because it's something I added whilst I was building this tower. So I realized I'd missed a detail on this side whilst I was building it in creative mode. And so the survival schematic didn't have that stuff in there. Need to start building these walls as well, really. Okay, Corral is located in Tombstone, Arizona. Of course it is. Why does anything in America have to make sense when it could just be weird? I get, like, Stardew Valley mermaid show vibes from this music. These are apparently double slabs. Or that one was, at least. Oh, and that begins the support beams. Which is probably not how a roof is structurally put together at all, but... There we go, there go the slabs. You know, one of the things I really never know how to do in Minecraft, like I always feel like it looks bad when you build it, when one builds it, is a glass dome. And it's because of the way glass intersects. Like, obviously, right now, with the connected glass texture, there can be large panels of clear glass, but you still have that line in between the two of them. And I feel like a glass dome is always made up of lots of little diagonal examples of that. To the point where, unless you're building on a massive scale, it really doesn't look all that good. So what I've done for this build is I've capped it off with a glass dome, because of course I did. It felt like the roof needed something else, because it had to come to such a gradual slope so it didn't mess with the neighboring walls, that I was like, we need some sort of centerpiece to this, otherwise it's all going to look awful. And I've made my peace with it. I don't think it looks especially great, but we're just going to do it anyway, because I don't really have time to design anything else. You're trying to recover from Eurovision, Raymond? It was a good show. I enjoyed it. Forgot about Eurovision. Who won? Sweden, which was not really a surprise. They were kind of the favourites going in, but yeah, the juries really loved Sweden, like to the point where they got about twice as many points as everybody else in the jury vote, and then the public vote made it really close between Sweden and Finland. Like, there was 50 points in it in the end, and Sweden had run away with it in the first half of voting. But I think it deserved it. It was a decent song, but everybody in the room wanted Finland to win so badly. Like, it had become basically everybody's favorite song, from what we could tell. Juries are rigged. I mean, it doesn't matter whether it's rigged or not, honestly. Like, I get the jury rigged as a phrase, but, like, it doesn't matter whether it's rigged or not, because, like, I think the Sweden song was still decent. It's just that sometimes that stuff isn't going to match up with the popular vote. And in this case, the popular vote was with Finland in such a big way that it felt like kind of a surprise when they didn't win. I've definitely seen some people who are like Eurovision veterans, you know, they're Eurovision reporters, and know so much about the history of the event and stuff, and there's a few of them now going, yeah, we don't really need the juries anymore. Because that's how much everybody wanted Finland to win. I also really liked Czechia's song. I thought theirs was pretty great. I'm a sucker for that kind of like vocal harmony. The tonality of it. It kind of reminded me of Ukraine from 2021. Which was it 2021? Or was that the year that they cancelled it? Goa, or Goe, I forget how it's actually pronounced, but their track, I thought, was really great, and the Czechia one basically just reminded me of that. There's so many incredible songs this year. Yeah, it was really good. Like, it was my mother-in-law's first time watching Eurovision, and we kind of wanted there to be a few more of the kind of wacky novelty acts. I feel like Croatia was really the only one. I mean, obviously Finland had some of that going for him, but it's really just like the arms and the staging and stuff. But one of the other things I saw was that in Finland, in one of the, I think probably Helsinki or one of the sort of major cities, they have these statues outside of the major like train station there, and they had a pair of the kind of like green Hulk arms that the singer wears added to those statues in support of his entry into Eurovision, which was really funny. Oh, I've made that more tricky for myself. Let's bring this down a layer so I can see what I'm doing. Feels stupid for a well-loved artist to go and win Eurovision Song Contest again. Felt very biased by juries, and the song sounds a lot like Euphoria. Wasn't anything special, didn't deserve to win. Yeah, it is the problem with having it be a jury vote and a popular vote and them disagreeing, really. And obviously, like, the juries are probably going to go for more, like, what's commercially viable or whatever, but they're failing to see the market potential of songs that are just all about the meme at this stage. I also think, while I've seen performances of the Finnish song before, and I think he's a pretty good vocalist, like, I feel like in the sung portions of the song, he was, like, kind of out of breath because of the choreography and stuff, and maybe just, like, the stress of the moment. So it may be that they would have awarded it better if he, you know, had a slightly more confident performance, but, you know, it's on the big stage at that point. You can't really fault people for being a little nervous. I mean, it hardly seems like my place to comment. Considering the biggest thing I've been part of on stage has been just like school theatre productions. Occasional local wind orchestra concerts from my days with the saxophone. Very sad about Germany, to be honest. Germany were robbed. Like, Germany deserved much better reception than they got. I think my issue is I've already forgotten Sweden's act. I can't remember the melody of it. But that's also because, like, the only one I really remember a great deal of is Finland, and that's because I heard it beforehand and it was just, like, stuck in my head for weeks. A couple of folks I spoke to who are from Finland were just like, it's a song about drinking. And so maybe that also didn't get it full marks because they always look for something that's a little bit more emotionally charged. It's a song about gaining more confidence once you've had a couple of drinks or something and having a party. This was the first year, I feel like, that I've watched it with subtitles on, and it was kind of unfortunate that they had to be delayed because it's a live broadcast. But the subtitles were actually really nice in understanding what was going on in some of the songs that weren't in English. Like, there's a joke I made on Twitter about how the Spanish track had a lyric that was something about, like, you know, when I die, bury me in the moon because then I'll always be able to look down on and see you, kind of thing. You know, some sort of emotional thing like that. And then there was another track that was like something about was it Cyprus or somebody had a lyric about like the moon exploding. I was like, guys, has anybody checked on the moon lately? I feel like the moon might be in trouble. But yeah, just being able to see what the lyrics were for once was actually kind of nice. I knew a guy from Finland, he drank a lot of coffee. Fair enough. Where on earth is the... I can't see it because of all of the weird shading here. Yeah, there we go. I need tough. I need andesite. And we can drop off some of the stuff like the mossy stuff and the dirt and grab a few more blocks of stone for the stone bricks up here. Oh, I got some stone bricks there actually, we can use that. And then glass, I think I'm good on, but let's bring another stack just in case I run out here because I've still got the dome portions to do. That's looking good. Still got a section of this we can fly up through. What is this if it's not... Oh, it's... I don't know why. I think maybe because of the fact that I copied this and rotated it, but some of these stairs are just at weird orientations. Yeah, I think I've ended up rotating them so it's still like, oh, you want the stairs facing north-northeast, yes? And I'm like, no, stop. Don't do that. Because it's only happening on that side of the build. The rest of these are all fine. Is that... Okay, it's right on all the others. I just placed those weirdly in the schematic. Again, fine. 100% fine with that. Tackling your first ocean monument almost ran out of doors, otherwise it hasn't been very bad. Yeah. I'm looking forward to doing stuff like that again in Survival Guide 3. Like, I haven't been able to do a lot of that stuff for a while, like all of the technical stuff, because of how much of this world is an individual person owns a specific resource, so you can't just go and build a Guardian farm whenever you want to. And to be fair, I haven't worked with Prismarine all that much this season, but man, am I looking forward to going and doing all of the farming bits and pieces, getting back into some technical Minecraft. Has been a little while, I feel, since I did anything super technical. Not that Guardian farms are super technical, but just an aspect of the game that I enjoy now a lot more than I used to. I sometimes run out of the opportunity to do that. One of my favorite mods that I use, honestly, I don't use mods much outside of this season of Empires, and even that is like, I use Lightmatica so that I can make sure I get my builds copied over from creative test worlds easily, and that I don't end up building something incorrectly when I've spent a lot of time on it. And then like performance mods and stuff like that, but that's really it. Like, I don't tend to use a great deal of mods outside of like replay mod for just content production stuff, so I can do time lapses and change the camera angles and things. I don't tend to go in for like quality of life mods and data packs all that often. Anything I learned in this Empire season I'm going to bring to new Survival Guide episodes? I mean, aside from being able to build stuff and import it using Lightmatica, there's not a huge amount that I've learned this season of Empires. I think there'll be some things like, well, me and Azuma built ENX04's copper farm, for example, and I really wanted at some stage, and I was potentially going to do this as a return to Survival Guide Season 2, but then we ended up not doing that. I really wanted to do a side-by-side comparison of how a copper farm like that outputs compared to, let's say, going and mining a huge vein of copper for like an hour. And obviously there's a bit of setup required. You've got to lure zombies in from the overworlds. So there's like a fair amount of more complex stuff you got to do with those copper farms, but once they really get going, they produce tons of copper, and so I'm kind of curious if it can beat just going and mining for a little while, which, I mean, ultimately it can, because you're AFKing for it, right? That's the trade-off, is you don't need to do anything really for the copper to produce itself. But then, like, for people who don't want to take that route, how does it stack up? How does it measure up against going and actually mining copper yourself? Like, is it viable? So, knowing how to build an ENX04's copper farm now, and understanding the mechanics behind that, which is really just like a Nembon copper farm made in the most efficient environment possible. You know what, I'm just going to craft the dark oak fence here, so I don't have my crafting table on me. Oh, never mind. We'll hop back in through here and we'll get one. Provided that I have one. I guess I don't. I do have the crafting table down here, though. Ah! Thought I still had a hole in there. I guess I don't. Anyway, here's a glass dome. Oh, there's my crafting table. Just left that up here. Boop. Let's put away... Let's put that away. Yeah, not too bad. Like I said, a couple of those blocks that are showing up as orange because they are in the wrong orientation are liars. Because the orientation is correct. It's just, yeah, I've done that. Facing inwards, not outwards. On 2 of those corners in the schematic, but I didn't mean to. Because those all come to a point there. Yeah, yeah. Just messed that up, I guess. Right, put the iron bars away for now. Oh wait, the andesite and the tuff we needed for up there, don't we? Can put the glass away in here. We'll need to dye some of that a little later. And now we're working on this wall, so now we will need andesite and polished andesite. Stone bricks. And we alternate those for a little bit. That's a set of stairs, I believe. And then this is just all stone all the way up, right? Yeah, makes sense. Okay, there's a couple of blocks in there that are dark oak wood, but we'll fix that after this. Is this my final project for this season? I mean, it has to be because I don't have any other projects. I won't have time for any other projects before the server is closed down. No worries, Royal Butterfly. Have a good one. You are at 1 hour 28 minutes if you want to come back and watch the VODs. Am I going to finish the building in this stream? I'm probably going to do my best and finish the stuff that I have built. The entire castle is not going to be finished because there are too many like towers and walls and stuff that still need decoration, but I'm doing the best I can to get what I have already drafted in creative built on the server. Does this go higher than that? That goes up to there, I guess. Yeah, okay. Need more stone. Where is stone, please? We'll cut out this stuff now, because we'll come back and replace that later. Oh, come on, I can see it. There we go. Anybody else do gymnastics just to place blocks instead of doing the sensible thing and, like, pillaring up or whatever? I feel like I waste so much time doing that. Will there be a big party in the castle when it's done? I mean, nobody left to party. Solid stone there, yeah. And then it just comes in with a set of planks. What will I do after Empire Season 2? I'm going on holiday to Spain for 2 weeks, and then when I come back, I'm restarting Survival Guide. We're doing a Survival Guide Season 3, because I think enough stuff has changed about the early game with regards to, like, finding armor trim and cherry grove biomes and that kind of stuff, that it's going to be worth starting a Season 3 of Survival Guide in a fresh world. Looking for sniffer eggs, archaeological sites, all of that stuff is going to be so much easier in a new world. I'm actually going to choose the seed this time because I feel like I don't really have anything to prove in regards to, you know, can we start a world from scratch? Yeah, you can. But choosing a world seed that you like and something that you want to stick with long term is also an entirely valid way to play the game. And so I am kind of on board with the idea of picking a seed this time around. In previous seasons I've resisted it also because I don't want people to, like, spoil stuff about the seed for me, but I always give the seed number out in the first video, so I feel like I'm not exactly gonna worry about that this time around. Okay, that's another spruce planks right there. Cool. Let's get some sleep. Came to the streams relatively recently, so haven't seen Survival Guide before. Looking forward to it. Yeah, it's a fun series once it really gets going. Survival Guide is the series in which I really try to do everything in Minecraft. And sort of explain it as I go. Okay, we need one there. We got some redstone ores over there, and we have some copper ores opposite those. I think those are stairs. Oh no, they are planks. Huh. Those are stairs. Right. I remember what I did now. You had stairs either side of that, yeah. Like Survival Guide, but I'll really miss your buildings. Love this style. I mean, who's to say we don't end up building this way in Survival Guide in future? Like, can definitely revisit a lot of this stuff. Like, it's not going to be exactly the same builds, obviously, but I will have the opportunity to build stuff like this in Survival Guide in future. And I do have... I had a great time building this, and I have a lot of experience now of building in this style that we can potentially bring to a Survival Guide style world. Let's quickly make some more stone brick stairs, because we will need those, evidently, for above the doorways. And let's pillar up for this one. Even though I've got scaffolding in my hotbar, I'm pillaring up using stone. We'll put these here as well. Yeah, cool. That side of the wall is basically done except for the redstone ore, which we can go and grab when we're ready to. put away some of this. Don't have room for that? Oh, okay. Mostly just need to make sure I have room for all of the stairs and slabs I need to craft. These are going to be big areas for the 4x4 paintings to hang, because I really like those. And one of these, I think I put like almost like a collage of them. I ended up stringing together a bunch of the smaller paintings all in the same frame. Just a double slab? Yeah, okay. And I kind of like the way that looks, so that you don't end up repeating, because there's only 3 different paintings that are in that 4x4 scale, so... First house builds in both survival guides my favourite. Love how you make something creative and functional with limited resources. Yeah, that's the idea. That's always the goal with a starter house, for me at least. A lot of people just want something functional, but I'm not quite the cobblestone cabin type these days. The best part of content creation, what got me into making Minecraft videos? What got me into making Minecraft videos was kind of a longer story. So I started working at a Disney interactive office in 2011. I used to work on Club Penguin doing like online moderation and email support and that kind of thing. And so every so often there, we would have like competitor research presentations where we'd hear about Minecraft as a game that a lot of kids were leaving Club Penguin to go and play instead. And so we wanted to understand what that was about, what appealed about that to our audience, and like sometimes the kids are going to be talking about this stuff online, so like is there anything we need to watch out for, right? I remember there being a similar one about Roblox at one point. And so I heard about Minecraft initially through that. And a short time later, a friend from work was giving away his Xbox 360 because he was getting an Xbox One, I think, and his kids didn't play on the 360 anymore. And it was either going to go to a charity shop, or he said to me, do you want it? Because at the time, like, the most recent console I had was a PlayStation 2. And he was like, hey, play these games. Around the same time, another coworker gave me a GameCube, and I played Legend of Zelda for the first time. So, yeah. More sort of gaming stuff was starting to trickle in. And then one of the things that I could play on the Xbox 360 was the Xbox 360 version of Minecraft. And I'd started watching a couple of YouTube videos about it and thought it looked really cool, just based on what I'd heard my colleagues talk about. So, fast forward a little bit, 6 months later, I've been playing Xbox 360 edition. My brother-in-law, Rob, who still streams semi-regularly here on Twitch as Ask Rob, ASQROB, was playing Minecraft on a server called Decidedly Vanilla, and he joined that thanks to a couple of friends who were also part of the server, and he said, hey, you'd probably be really good at this whole making Minecraft videos thing. You already watched them, like, do you want to give it a go? And I said, well, I don't really have like a PC that can play Java Minecraft, and he was like, I'll build you one out of spare parts that he had lying around. So yeah, Rob built me my first proper PC out of spare parts, which meant it was not good, as you can tell from my early videos where the quality is still in like 480p. I haven't really got any decent like hardware helping out with frame rate and everything like that. But I started making videos that way as a way to get into Decidedly Vanilla and just hang out and play with Rob. And at that point, I was like, yeah, this is kind of fun. Just made YouTube videos for a little while. A couple of tutorials got people's attention. Got a shout out from OMG Chad for like doing a bunch of tutorials with details and armor stands. And so I went from like 150 subscribers to about 7,000 virtually overnight. And yeah, from there I just started making all kinds of different videos and made tutorials which got popular kind of on their own. And then Survival Guide. And that was that. That was kind of my path through becoming a career YouTuber, I guess. And obviously, like, through Decidedly Vanilla is where I met Fwip and Mythical Sausage for the first time. And, like, a bunch of other people, obviously, but, yeah, those two being the notable ones that I still collaborate with on a regular basis. My favorite thing about content creation, because that was the second part of the question, was it is just, like, the opportunity to be my own boss and not have to work to anybody else's schedule or anybody else's, like, requirements for what I do, except for my audience, which obviously makes a lot of sense. But it's not like the audience is setting a schedule for me and saying, like, hey, we want this amount of videos at this time. You know, that's all stuff I get to control. And obviously it's been a learning experience being self-employed and, like, learning how to do my own taxes and stuff like that, because income tax is something that, unless you're making money from, like, a side business, your employer does for you a lot of the time in the UK. And it's not like places like the States where you have to file, like, personal taxes regardless of where you work. So it was not something I'd had to worry about until now, and then that was very stressful for me because I don't like financial stuff at all. But you get used to it. So I left Club Penguin for Empires? No, Club Penguin eventually laid me off. They made me redundant because Club Penguin itself was not financially viable anymore. They didn't adapt very easily to the fact that most kids were playing games on mobile devices, and maybe Club Penguin as, like, an online virtual world just wasn't cutting it for kids anymore when more and more interesting stuff was out there. So they tried to launch a mobile version of Club Penguin. It didn't work. And then they canned us after a while. But yeah, that's the way things work, and I'd worked there for 4 years by that point, so I got a decent severance package. I went to work for another software company and kept making hobbyist YouTube videos until I got where I am now. Always nice to reflect on this stuff when you're closing out another chapter of the YouTube stuff as well. Like, obviously, with Empires wrapping up at this point, it's kind of nice to look back on what we've achieved so far and look forward to what's next. This is Dark Oak, isn't it? Yeah, okay. So both Scar and Pixel worked for Disney in a way. I wasn't aware Scar ever worked for Disney. I haven't, like, heard that from him. What did he do? Start placing some of this stuff down so the holographic parts can start to chill out a little bit. In fact, let's bring it all down to ground level so I know what I'm doing. That's a lot better. We've made some pretty good progress for only being live for like an hour and a half. Where are the rest of my moss blocks? There they are. Let's get the rest of the azalea taken care of as well. I might actually have to leave a torch under here just to make sure nothing spawns. Oh, I think a couple of these are grass blocks as well. Because I love to make things awkward. Yeah, all of that is grass, okay. I do have grass blocks in here somewhere. Where are they? I did have grass blocks in here somewhere. Might have ended up in, oh, there's some in here. Okay, good. Good, good, good. We'll put away some of the wood stuff. Yeah, the cool thing about the grass in here is that the biome shift is noticeable. So, like, you look at the moss and grass blocks next to each other, side by side here, and there isn't too much of a difference between them. Obviously, the moss has more shading and stuff going on in there, but then obviously it has a bit of a gradient into the savanna color grass, where suddenly, like, the difference between a moss block and the grass color is much more noticeable. Assuming you have decent color vision, at least. So, I kind of like the idea that they grew stuff in here because the greener grass could be found, like, further up into this mountain biome. Songbird, thanks so much for the 7 months. There is a full version of the Spawn Chunks theme song anyway. You can actually get it as a download from becoming a member of the Spawn Chunks. I believe there's still like a download of that available to people who join us on Patreon. Dogman Jack, thank you for the 23 months. Not sure if I thanked Happy Cat for the 17 earlier, but if I didn't, apologies, and thank you for the 17. So yeah, these little spots here, those are grass blocks. And this is where I wanted to put in some small drip leaf. Again, kind of lends itself to that hothouse environment quite nicely. There's glow berries hanging down from the ceiling. There's a bit of grass around here. And this is where the small drip leaf is. Which is in one of these. I'm not sure if I used big drip leaf at all, but we'll have to see, I guess. There's one there. One here, one here. Okay, not sure why it thinks that one is wrong. Is it facing a different direction? I can't believe these have different directions they face. Whatever, it does not matter. We can put grass there as well. And drip leaf there and there. Azalea there. See, normally I would just end up decorating these in whatever way looked best. Oh, this is big drip leaf. That's where the big drip leaf is. There we go. Yeah, normally I just end up decorating all of this stuff in survival and not, like, placing stuff specifically, but the schematic is going to scream at me if I don't, so... Then on this side of the room, we have more like a rockery. How long am I planning on streaming today? Probably another hour and a half, at least. Just trying to get as much of this done as I possibly can, basically. Where's the mossy cobble gone? Did I still have any left? Oh, I still have some grass in here as well. Do I have any of that? I have a little bit here, but I'll need more, so... Let's bundle a couple of these things. Make some more of that. And that's just a dirt block, so that can be grass. It'll revert to dirt anyway. Love the attention to detail. Thank you. It means that stuff gets built very slowly sometimes, but I'm honestly fine with that if it means it looks good. Those are also mossy cobble slabs, which I would be able to make if I was not holding wheat seeds. I think I made these mossy cobble slabs so I could have the option of waterlogging them and putting, like, coral there or something, but have not done that. And you know what? I'm fine with it. Choosing oak leaves here because this is meant to be the slightly drier looking portion. Although, yeah, it's going to yell at me for not using them here because these are azalea for some reason. Oh, and there's vines hanging down as well. That's what that is. Okay, need more mossy cobble. I think I put that away somewhere. Where did I throw that now? There it is. Another slab, another slab. Azuma, thank you for the raid. Welcome in. Hello, friends. Hope you're all doing well. Hello and welcome to Castle Grayscale. We are currently doing my last ever stream from Empire's SMP Season 2. Sad times. Remember the fun we had? Me and Azuma building copper farms. Good times, good times. He was just using David. Oh, I'm glad David's legacy lives on. There'll be more David action from me in the new season of Survival Guide, of course, but always very happy to hear that that machine's still getting good use over on Hermitcraft. Let's pop that down there to make sure we have some light. And yeah, glad you guys are stopping in today for this final stream here. We are going on holiday to Spain on Tuesday, and in my absence, Empire's SMP is going to be shutting down the server. But we've had a heck of a season, so we're very happy to look back on that and reflect on how much fun we had. David is too small. David is too slow for Azuma. Yeah, I expect copper production is going to outpace that machine, but hey, I have a more automated version in tutorial format on my channel. I've still not built one in person yet, but in survival at least. But yeah, I expect there'll be other farms out there. Like if you look at cubic meters copper aging setup, that one's really solid. So if you still need big wacky projects like that to do with copper, then cubic meter is your guy. I'm going on vacation, that means we'll probably get the new Minecraft update. That seems likely at this point, yes. I thought for a second I saw a wandering trader, but I think it was the chicken moving plus the blue of the water over there. Did I bring the dead bushes with me in that box, or did I not? I don't think I did, right? I do need lots of mangrove leaves, though, and I'm pretty sure I left some azalea somewhere if I can sort through this absolute mess. There we go. Yeah, I don't think I brought the dead bushes over with me, so I might need to go and grab some of them. But we'll need to get the glass for this window anyway, so that's something we can do. In the meantime, are these mangrove leaves? They are. If I could remember where I put those now. Looking forward to the new adventures after Empires? Me too, me too. It's always kind of sad leaving a season like this, but got to look forward to bigger and better things. A new and improved survival guide among them. That's an allium there. We need rose bushes and lilacs. We need one more. Well, actually, a couple more of these azalea bushes. We'll put these out in the floor somewhere. Somewhere they're not going to get in the way. And now I need to remind myself which one of these had the azalea leaves in it. There we are, flowering azalea. I'll stay in denial about Empire's ending. Such fun adventure, though. I mean, it only ends when you want it to end if you're imaginative enough. There's a lot of very imaginative people in our community who continue to write, like, fan stories about Season 1 characters and all that kind of stuff. You know, you just gotta be willing to use your imagination a little bit. And much as we put a lot of effort into all of the stuff that we make for this series, I've seen since the first season of Empires how much ownership a community can take over stuff like this in a good way. I mean, like, how much it can inspire people to create stuff to the point where the story, I feel like, really belongs to those viewers beyond a certain point. Gonna start trying to transfer some of this stuff over. But the next major thing we really need to do, aside from sorting out my shulker box here, is do the rafters in here so I can put the glow berries in and all of those can start growing. So for that we'll need spruce logs. I believe I used spruce logs. And we're going up here. Can I use my last remaining firework to... Oh, yep, to bang into the ceiling? I absolutely can. Something tells me I should have done this before I did the roof. Yeah, it's going to get away from me a bit, this one. We'll use some scaffolding, though. We'll play it smart. We'll use some scaffolding. Is a world download being released, though? Wasn't there talk about not releasing it, or how would it be released if it went ahead? I'm sort of operating under the assumption that it might happen, but I don't want to say anything concrete about that just in case anybody, like, objects to it. The main thing to remember is that if it does get released, you're just going to get a vanilla copy of the world, and it's not going to have any of the the extra like texture stuff that we did, because all of that has been developed by an artist who we've commissioned, and we commissioned them for our own use and not for distribution. So bear in mind that if we do end up releasing a world download, it's not going to have things like everyone's custom armor and custom mounts and stuff like that. Much as I would love to give you all Winchester to ride around on, that's not really up to me. Interesting that as a ghost you can move through ghost projections. Well, I'm pretty sure anybody can move through projections. Is that azalea at all? There's probably some azalea somewhere. I expect some of it is mangrove. I think a lot of it is mangrove, actually. Anyway, let's hop on up here. We'll always have the short with Winchester? You will, yes. Once again, if you're just joining us, apologies for the amount of flickering that goes on with these. Oh, it's got vines and stuff growing on it, yeah. Yeah, there's not really a whole lot I can do about that, especially when leaves are concerned. Like Matica does tend to get a little flickery, and if that's a problem for folks who are more photosensitive, I do apologize. Partly a symptom of the fact that each of the leaves has an extra, like, cross-section added to the hitbox. Okay, that's actually it for the leaves, at least all that I can place while I'm up here. So let's drop down. Let's connect up with this scaffolding, and let's start building these. I think this may be the point at which I need to get, like, shears or something. Do I have a set of shears in here somewhere? I'm pretty sure I did. There they are. And that's the point where I'll get some grass and stuff as well. For adding to some of these. Oh, and of course... Of course I'm going to end up messing some of this up. The glowberries are not going to look right until they have grown. Oh, interesting. Okay. There were still a couple of leaves up here that hadn't decayed from when I placed the natural mangrove tree. So that the thing that's showing up wrong there is the block state that governs whether leaves are persistent or not. So there's not really a whole lot I can do about that, because that would require me to grow a natural mangrove tree and then remove all the leaves but those. Are they all young enough to grow to their full length? If they aren't, it doesn't matter. Like, if they end up only growing to a certain amount and they're not, like, trailing on the ground, I'm honestly fine with that. If I'd had more time to play around with it in creative and, like, be really exact about the lengths of those that I wanted, then, you know, I could do that, but I just don't think it's worth the hassle. Because I'm happier with them just kind of growing down however they want to. If anything, I think it suits the environment we're trying to create here, where things have become overgrown much more naturally as a result of the age of this place and lack of maintenance. How far in advance was I planning in creative? I mean, for this, I've been working on it basically between streams for a while, but like a lot of this stuff I only really got finished yesterday and today. I mean, it's down to the fact that I don't think I will have time to... I mean, I definitely won't have time to finish building the entire castle. Like, there's going to be some stuff here that just doesn't end up having a full building as part of it because, yeah, I just don't have the time before I go away on holiday. Can break that one. Got those done. It makes sense to have ruins everywhere instead of a complete castle. Yeah, that's sort of been my excuse for not having a finished build here. We need a touch more mangrove. If I can remember which box I put them in. Azalea, oak. Start moving the grass around. There we go. You know, if we don't have mangrove leaves, we can make some of them a different leaf type. Like we've got birch leaves, we've got oak leaves. We can put some oak leaves up there because they'll be the same color. Divergent species. It won't let me pick block them, but... Okay, the only thing that's left to put up there is the hanging roots. So at this point we can probably... Oh, there's a couple more here. This is one of the rooms that I really wanted to get right in here, because I really like how overgrown it feels. Love natural builds in general, especially when it's like a natural build inside of such a structural place. Just gonna pillar up with the leaves. Can bring down all of that. So I need dead bushes, I need hanging roots. The roots will be easy enough because I can just farm them from rooted dirts. The dead bushes aren't quite so easy. We'll pause there. Maybe they got attacked before the castle was finished, which is why some of it is damaged? Yeah, sure. Like, that's another great excuse. Right, I need to get some more fireworks. Grab some more golden carrots as well. Our big cultist, thank you for the 31. And Bats, thank you for gifting that tier 1 sub to Azuma earlier. Really appreciate that. Let's see. Dead bush. We need... We'll bring 11 of those, that's fine. Got so much glow lichen as well. We should really bring a couple of stacks of that with us, because that's going to be quite valuable. And then, if I bundle some more stuff, we can bring some bone meal. Oh, yeah, thank you for reminding me about the glass, Capska. I will go and get the grey glass panes as well while I'm here. How are we all this afternoon? Yeah, not too bad. Pretty good. Okay, I just need grey dye instead. I've got some black in there, so I'll just bring that over with the bone meal. We'll bundle that. Nope, those are my arrows. What am I doing? Bundle that, thank you. So yeah, as you can see, Castle is proceeding. It's never going to be finished, but nothing in Minecraft ever is, so that's fine. Just kidding, there are people who finish builds. I'm just not one of them. You know what we call people who finish builds in my house? Tryhards. Terrible thing to say. Don't believe me. Now, where did I put the dead bushes? There. 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 You saw nothing. This one's got a thing directly on top of it. That's all just vine growth. We can ignore that. That's fine. That's fine. Rose bushes and stuff can wait. Resume recording. We'll put some of this stuff away. We will quickly farm some hanging roots or some rooted dirt. Where did I put the shears? So shears in the offhand bone meal, like that. That works. That should be plenty. And then we briefly bring back all of these horrendous tall schematic things just so that we can grab. So we can take a look at where exactly these go. Kind of in the corners, some of them. Ah! What am I running into there? The leaf block? Probably the leaf block. There it is. Finally. Let's put these in the offhand just so we can pillar up here and get them. It's only really just this little cluster of them over there. I sort of like the idea of there having been a few more of these hanging plants that didn't quite make it. Didn't get enough sunlight when all of this became overgrown or something. Sabina Wolf, thanks so much for the 14 months. Welcome back. So we'll continue putting the natural blocks in here. That makes a lot of sense. And just start moving all these shulkers out, because we are basically done here. Need to make sure I pick them all up, though. We've still got a few other bits and pieces to take care of, but where I really want to focus my efforts now is in here. Because all of this needs to get built. Luckily for me, a lot of this is fairly stone-centric, and so I've got plenty of that going around. The one last thing I want to do in here before we dash off is get this floor taken care of. Have I finished the throne room? Does it look finished? This is... I've designed the throne room. Also, finished is kind of interesting when it's like a ruin and there's bits of the wall missing, but... Okay, that is my gunpowder box, so that can go back in here. I am just going to drop all of the contents of my ender chest somewhere in the world as well, so in the event that we do provide a world download for people, I can just leave all of my stuff out there for people to find. Let's grab some stone bricks, some andesites, all of that. Bring that all down to ground level. Would like to see the throne room finished when I upload my video somehow. I mean, this is as finished as it's gonna get. Like, when I have built everything that I'm building on this stream, that is gonna be all the building I do. Like, I might tweak a couple of things after the stream very briefly, but I will not have time to do more on this tomorrow. He's back. Back to dangle his llamas from precarious places. To dangle his llamas from precarious places. It's like the scene in Johnny English where he's taking muscle relaxant. Looked like he was floating. Yes, the David Blaine of Minecraft. So this is very orange, looking for a... I guess that is an orange shulker box. Oh, the wood shulker box is in my inventory the whole time. Of course it is. In fact, the spruce wood is in my inventory the entire time. I don't know what I'm doing. Will I check the emerald ore fountain before leaving? Probably not. Should I? Do you guys know something that I don't, or...? Hope there aren't too many places in this room where the floor is gonna drop away from me. Well, having swift sneak is nice. This also means I get to gather a little extra stone from around here. Ignore anything that says this is the wrong block. It is, it just doesn't know it yet. We are once again going for a sort of simulated there was a red carpet here once feel by using stripped mangrove as though it's all been worn down to the point where it's threadbare. That is apparently red terracotta, though, so that is the incorrect block. I'll need to go and get some red terracotta at some stage. I don't think I have it right now. Might be some in the storage room somewhere. As it is right now, it kind of looks like red terracotta, even when I just put the mangrove there. I've got to the point where I'm out of spruce woods. I will need to come back to that then. I do have spruce wood, it's just over in storage. You know what, I'll go there now. Get that part out of the way. We'll bring a few stacks of this over. Bit more mangrove. And we'll see if we have any red terracotta. I might also grab some flower pots and see if I have the flowers that I wanted for the other room. Definitely got the flower pots. I'll bring some wither roses. Don't think I had like the rose bushes and the lilacs, but we'll deal with them. What else did I come in here for? Red terracotta, that's right. We can dye some if we don't have it. We have some, so that's fine. Brunch almost kept me from the last stream, but I made it. Wonderful to see you working. Hey, no worries. Hope you had a good brunch. Yeah, brunch is important, as Ginger says. Brunch is important. Where are your llamas now? I think that might actually be. No, because I turned entities off. He does exist. He made noises. I was going to say I think he's actually part of the schematic and not like a real wandering trader, but then I remembered that the entities were switched off to avoid weird stuff with the paintings in here. Resume recording. So now that looks virtually the same, but I promise you it's different. And then this. The red terracotta does feel like one of the blocks that it is impossible to tell whether or not you have placed it correctly or incorrectly in Lightmatica. Yes, I know that's what the interface in the top right is for, but it's just kind of funny that it's the same, basically the same color, whether it's placed in the wrong spot or not. I mean, it's a little brighter, I guess you could tell. Can you tell where the chairs are meant to go, by the way? Anywhere there is a spot of stone, there is furniture. Because I built the furniture and then I changed the floor. This is stripped mangrove log in a different orientation. Weird, okay. Sure. Okay, now it's time for lots of basalt. Which is potentially going to be a touch difficult to get all of this area. So I'm going to start removing all of this stone. I might fall through the ground here, depending on which sections I carve away. Feel like logs wouldn't make a good floor in real life? Well, depending on the log. Depending on how they've been treated and stuff. So many items in this game? Yes. Have a nice holiday. Thank you, I will. At least I certainly hope I do. If it's not nice, then I'm not sure why I'm going on holiday to begin with. See you later, Kitsune. If you want to come back and watch the VOD, you're at 2 hours and 30 minutes. Understand how and why inventory gets messed up. It still stresses me out. Oh yeah, sure. I'm with you on that. I feel like half the time I start on one task with the inventory that I need to get the other task done, and so I was like, hey, I'll need some basalt for this. I pull the basalt out and I immediately go and start mining stone. Has my mother-in-law arrived? Yeah, she's been here for like a week and a half. We are going to Spain with her, and then she's going to be here for another week after that. She's basically here for the whole of May. Although here changes because we're going to Barcelona. Some great architecture in Barcelona and Madrid. I know, yeah. That's one of the reasons I'm interested in going. I would love to take lots of pictures while I'm there. Obviously, I'm not going to be able to use that fresh architectural inspiration when I'm starting Season 3 of Survival Guide and building, like, really basic stuff to start with, but... Madrid is where you're thinking about moving to? Wow, that's a cool place to live. Madrid is probably my favorite European city that I've visited so far. The Sagrada Familia was finally finished recently? Wow, okay. I know it's obviously been under construction for a while. Oh, you're from Madrid, Raymond? Awesome. Yeah, I really love that place. We were there for a week in 2018 and had a really great time. Only got into Empires from the crossover event. Do we have world downloads? I believe the Season 1 world download is still available. We have not confirmed whether or not we're doing a world download for Season 2. If we do, it might not be so widely advertised, but Fwip put it on his second channel last time, so... It's mainly because a lot of the stuff that we have from the artist who's done all of our custom textures and stuff like that is not going to be included with a world download if we give one out, so we don't want to like get everybody's hopes up. But also, yeah, there's a few bits and pieces like that. Also, the other thing, because people always have a lot of questions that come with a world download, and it's not like difficult, but it's often kind of time-consuming to answer questions about a world that we've already like left behind as far as like content creation stuff goes. So it often feels like kind of a redundant use of our time when we're all focusing on whatever's next, you know? We don't always still want to be answering questions about Empire Season 2 when we're looking at future seasons of other series and whatnot. Especially for Fwip, like, because he's the admin, so he's the one who deals with a lot of this stuff. Empires is really like a project that he started. And so it's an extra strain on his time to make sure that everybody's happy with things, you know? Feels like it gives him a lot of extra work. Will there be an Empire Season 3? That is something else we have not yet decided. Because there's not going to be a Season 3 straight away, because we have other stuff that we all want to do right now. And there was not a Season 2 immediately after Season 3. We don't operate like Hermitcraft, who basically start their new season straight away. Like, we took a break between them to do various things. I had Survival Guide Season 2 already running. Everybody else went and did Afterlife, the modded series. No idea why there isn't a wall over here, so I'm just going to do a wall over here. Might have been something I kind of overlooked when I was drafting this. It's so important to look at Minecraft builds from all angles if you want something to be at all coherent, which my builds are not often. Okay. Don't want to keep that bed up there. Bit of an awkward respawn point. We'll definitely need a lot more basalt in a minute. Some tough there as well. All of this is going to get filled in just for the sake of structure. And this is stone underneath with dark oak planks on top. Cool. If you're going to release a world download, it's something you have to plan from the beginning of the world. Well, yeah, it can be. Yeah. Doesn't have to be always, but if you're starting a server with a bunch of other people and you want to make sure everybody's on the same page about that, that's always a good idea. You always got to set like some expectations for what's going to happen after the season is over. In the same way that you maybe discuss like beginning dates and end dates and that kind of stuff, which we didn't really have in mind for Empires. Like, the reason it's ending now is much more that people feel like they've told the stories they want to tell, and because a new Minecraft update is coming out soon, so people want to spend some time in that. It seems like the right sort of time for change. I, for one, am very much looking forward to 1.20. Okay, that is Basalt Central now, which we really don't have any of in there, no matter how many times I keep looking. In fact, I think we may not have any more left in... We do have some there. We got some tuff there as well, okay. Gonna need some of that, gonna need this cobblestone. That's not that, it's this. This is really meant to look like bits of this room have disintegrated and fallen off of this cliff. Which is honestly kind of difficult to build with how blocky Minecraft is. But hopefully it comes across. These are all going to be slabs. Will Survival Guide ever return? Season 3, happening basically as soon as 1.20 arrives. Okay, those are full blocks, I lied. Are those not full blocks? Infested cobblestone. I hate... To be fair, I've been working with the stone blocks whilst I've been building up this area. And that is probably one of the first times I've actually run into infested cobblestone as a problem. So I've done pretty well at avoiding it so far. Yeah, the first time that I've accidentally picked the infested stone variant instead. For a good little while, at least. Oh, that one's wrong way round. Fix that. It's been a beautiful season of Empires. Thank you. Means a lot. Alright, how tall does this pillar go before it runs into the ceiling? Oh, this one actually has... It's not the best example because it's got a bunch of other stuff going on. Tough there. Oh, that's regular basalt, okay. Well, I've used up all of that, I think. Yeah, we got tough appearing there. Yeah, okay, good. So, not appearing in this film. Do we have any... We don't have any regular basalt. I need to go and get that. And... we have one mossy cobblestone slab in there. But yeah, this is where we need to grab some moss and start making some of that ourselves. We won't need the gravel. That I know for certain. There we go. Can get rid of some stuff in the bundle at last. Would be interesting if the ancient structure was infested with silverfish. It would. That would be kind of a neat thing. It's the sort of thing you can imagine happening. Alright, pausing recording. Gonna go and get some regular basalt. I'll need more anyway because we need to build more of those pillars. We'll also need a lot more dark oak wood, so I think we should probably grab some of that while we're here. Because we're actually making dark oak wood, like the 6-sided wood block, in a second. How many people have posted their finales? Basically all of them at this point, except for maybe Ollie and me. I think that's the case anyway. And Lizzie? Okay, I guess Lizzie doesn't have one yet either. But I know Lizzie's obviously had some issues with being able to record, because I think her office was being renovated for a while, so she just couldn't record. She hasn't posted a video for a while yet. Just put a torch there. Just going to skip this one because I don't like having vocals on whilst I'm streaming like this. It feels like I'm talking over somebody. You know what? Yeah, let's get the pillars taken care of now. Okay, that's as tall as that one goes, so that's actually the height that all of them need to be. Which means we will need more basalt again, but luckily we do have some. I want to keep some of the natural stuff. Oh, so close. And yeah, there's some there. Let's go take care of this one. Natural basalt there. Natural basalt there. One here and one there, and that's it. So now all of this is free for me. Oh, all of this, all 6 blocks of this are free for me to use. Yeah, let's drop a bunch of the dark oak wood in here so we've got room to breathe in our inventories. That mossy cobblestone can come back out along with the tough, and that should be everything we need to finish off this pillar. Where did I leave the stone cutter? There it is. So its little whirling blade. I can stone cut polished basalt, interesting. And sleep. Really want to see a futuristic empire. It would be kind of fun. I've talked about this in the past of like the problem with doing a more modern series of empires, like if we did a season 3 with a bunch of more modern ideas. Not everybody likes building modern, and Minecraft tends to naturally feel kind of medieval fantasy because the blocks you're building with so often are like wood and cobblestone, and you're building stone tools and stuff, and it feels very primitive for a long time. And then when you advance technologically in Minecraft, it always feels very magical in nature. You're brewing potions and you're enchanting things and, you know, building nether portals and stuff like that. It always feels very fantastical rather than feeling naturally modern. So building anything modern, there's a natural sort of resistance to that in universe in Minecraft. So what you end up with is a lot of people struggling against the natural feel of a game in order to try and build something modern, and sometimes people just don't want to do that. And so I think a modern series of empires would have to be potentially even with a different cast, because I think a few of these folks just aren't really that interested in building anything too modern anyway. But it would also have to be like very, very stylistically figured out and have a strong sense of its own identity from the beginning. And you'd have to find 12 different ways to go with it, you know? And you couldn't just have one person being the fish out of water, I don't think. I don't think it would work with, like, one person being the modern empire that's so different from all of the other empires, because, I mean, you already had, like, some silly moments with Mythical Sausage pretending he didn't know what YouTube was when Corrales was talking to him and people from Hermitcraft came over, and it felt like, you know, these are people who exist outside of the lore of the world. And it all just starts to feel a little bit kind of, I don't know, forced at that point, like you're breaking the fourth wall too often. And I feel like that would inevitably end up being the case with futuristic empires to an extent as well. Futuristic Minecraft doesn't seem right in any situation. I mean, I've seen individual builds which are phenomenal at achieving a modern build style. Like, you look at the way Corrales builds on Hermitcraft, especially last season, but also this season. He's got some incredible stuff. But, I feel like that can't exist necessarily in the storytelling context we want it to exist within Empires. Because you're always going to end up with people being like, what's a skyscraper, you know? It's sort of like if you have a modern character in a Dungeons and Dragons campaign. Like, you can get a few laughs out of it, but it becomes a little bit tiresome after a while, I feel. Like, you have an isekai kind of character, right? Could see an alien stranded in a more primitive world trope working. I mean, maybe, yeah, but then that makes it way more about our character than the style that we build in, and you also have to have 12 people all deciding what feels alien to them. You've got to have a reason for 12 different aliens to all be there at once, but not come from the same place, because if you come from the same place, you would probably build the same. I don't know, perhaps I'm overthinking it, but overthinking it's kind of what we do here. On the other hand, let's really thought experiment this a little bit. I think it would be easier for us to have somebody as a villain, because that seems to be something that people really enjoyed about Season 1 that they felt was lacking from Season 2, was that there wasn't really a villain, right? And I think part of that was the fact that we didn't want to establish Hermitcraft as the villains at any point, because that feels like a bad vibe. Like, we're effectively inviting them to our server and then saying, hey, play the character that everybody in the comments is going to hate on. Like, wouldn't feel particularly fair to them, right? And yeah, I think if you wanted to set up a season that had an antagonist, it feels easier to do that in a modern context, because you don't end up with the villain of the piece having to be some sort of like supernatural entity that's like a threat because they have powers beyond your imagining kind of thing. It can be much more about like modern stuff. Like, it can be political intrigue and, like, business related kind of stuff. But it all depends whether or not you'd find that at all interesting. And I know some folks here just don't really care for that kind of tone. Yeah, the villain is always capitalism, yeah. Enjoyed that there wasn't some big bad guy and refreshing this season not to have the same trope. Yeah, and I think a few folks enjoyed it last season so much that they just want us to play the greatest hits this season. And I'm like, we said from the very beginning, this demon character is not coming back. Like, we've decided we're not going to do the same thing again. But, you know, people still want to have something like that as part of the way the plot is driven forward. I think a lot of the things I have trouble with, not just in like this YouTube storytelling kind of space, but in modern culture in general, is I think storytelling stuff and the methodology behind anything being more available to people through the internet is ultimately, I believe, a good thing, because it sort of, for want of a better term, democratizes information in a way that people who could be shut out of that kind of stuff are easier to include in it, right? So, like, anybody can find information, anybody can look up the way stories are told and learn from that and tell their own stories, and that part of it is beautiful. But I feel like there's this problem I have with people understanding all of the terminology behind something and trying to apply it in a place where it doesn't need to be applied. And weirdly, my best example of this is in like video games press conferences like E3, or like, you know, big events like E3, where it was for a while. E3 is kind of dead now, but it was a place for people to get previews of games. But it was more of like a press conference than it was like a public event. And then it started to become a public event because the public was taking interest in it. But the presentations still became about... The presentations were still so much about like the business of games and not necessarily like the stuff you can look forward to. Which is why for so long everybody said that E3 was always disappointing in terms of the announcements. It's because... like, they were watching the full press conference. And so what you ended up with at that stage was people starting to use media jargon for discussion of something that they were a fan of, like video games. And it just becomes increasingly sterile the way stuff is discussed. Like, whenever I hear somebody who is not, like, a video game reviewer or a developer talking about, like, the gameplay loop of something, I just, like, die a little bit more inside, because, you know, they can talk about it how they want to, ultimately. Like, I'm not trying to police the way people talk about this stuff, but it just feels like people shouldn't be talking about stuff in a way that assumes this level of expertise, I guess. Like, that sounds weird and gatekeepy now. I'm trying to work out what it is that, like, feels so wrong to me about it. It's not necessarily even about people using terms they understand. It's about the language around it all sounding so corporate. Again, the end boss is capitalism. It's more just that, like, there are more natural, more human ways of talking about some of this stuff, and the language all feels very mechanical. It's like whenever people start talking about stuff, and I do this for the podcasts, for our, like, hangouts, but whenever people talk about games and they're like, oh yeah, this Tears of the Kingdom is going to ship in Q3 of 2023 or whatever, and I'm like, there's a level to which it feels like it dilutes the excitement to me. Yeah, like for similar reasons you hate the word content. Yeah, like I'm kind of the same. Like I'm obviously very happy to receive the messages that I do. Like everybody's very kind when they're like they come into my stream and they tell me they really enjoyed something I made. But then when somebody comes in and says, hey, love your content, it always feels like, it sounds like they're describing my capacity, like what I contain, you know, is what it feels like to me sometimes. Big fan of all that room you've got in you, you know? I don't know, just there's something about it that, yeah, just feels so sterile and marketing slangy. It doesn't feel like a natural, heartfelt way of talking about stuff because you're boiling it down to these refined industry terms that are really just there to concisely convey an idea instead of conveying it with any sort of emotion behind it. That might be it. Is that the idea that it sort of feels divorced from any kind of emotional connection to stuff when people are using such sterile terms to talk about it. Need to make some slabs real quick, and then a lot of these arches are done, and we need to do the ceiling in here. The stuff I'm leaving to last of this is really the outer walls and the roof, which is fine because those are fairly simple to build. They are just walls. Bring the stone cutter with me. I think what it comes down to is I'm a big fan of the community deciding on its own terminology. Like Mojang internally, and again, there's another very corporate word, in their own office at Mojang, they probably didn't start out saying, like, you know, the changes we're making to iron golems are going to be really great for iron farming. Or, like, introducing something so that people can farm it is not necessarily, like, what they have in mind, but that's like, player-driven activity. It's what they would call it. Emergent gameplay. There you go. There we go. Trying to place a block in the most awkward way possible. It's because it makes your videos feel like perishable products instead of videos made to last? Yeah, I suppose so. It's something like that, you know? Or it's the fact that the term content can be applied to so much. It gives you no benchmark for the level of quality or the type of thing that you're even discussing. It's just like any piece of media. It's so consumerist as well. Like, that's the other thing. It's like the capitalist mindset of things are there to be consumed and we are consumers. It implies such a one-sided relationship. Benchmark is another interesting term. I suppose so, yeah. Consume always sounds like eating to me. Exactly. And it sort of softly implies this weird level of greed, I guess. I don't know. Again, I have too much time to think about this stuff, given that it's my career and all, but imagine calling a cartoonist a content creator. Exactly, but that's like... I was watching Boz stream earlier. I love Boz. And he was talking about... I think She-Hulk, like one of the Marvel streaming series, and he said that it wasn't his favorite piece of Marvel content. And I get that you're using it as an umbrella term, right? To talk about both movies and television series and whatever else, right? But content feels like it feels like a term that is used to describe homegrown creators and people who are sort of independent content creators. Is where I feel like I hear the term used more often. So, like Marvel, basically the biggest entertainment conglomerate, or like part of the biggest entertainment conglomerate on the planet, being described as like content is so weird to me. Big consumer of Michelangelo's paintings. He's my favorite content creator. It's true. It's true. Very good. I think what matters much more to me, though, is the meaning behind it all. The understanding that if somebody says they like what you're doing, then that's a good thing regardless of the terminology they use, the words they use to say it. I need to go and get more basalt for these pillars. But, yeah, like, ultimately it's wonderful to have people appreciate what I do. What we're concluding here is you're in the same business as both Michelangelo and Marvel. Yeah. Yeah, that's what we're saying. Yeah, like, I would much rather say people liked my videos or they liked my streams than have somebody say they liked my content, because then I don't know what exactly they're talking about liking. I want to know what people like about stuff. Let's go and get the coral as well while we're still paused. Let's sleep and then let's go get the coral. Content creation sounds like the commodification of art. Yes, yes. Can't believe NASA is also a content creator. We're all out here creating content these days. What else do I need for this? Speak to me, what am I missing? I've got all of the copper and stuff. We've brought all of the wood over. It's really kind of it, I think. So we should be okay. Is it content creation if I make a joke on my Facebook status? Depends how many people laugh at it. Realised I never put a door there. That's just not happened. Oh, I had the doors. That's why I had 3 of them in my inventory a while ago. I just never put them back because I was putting in these logs and stuff. Okay, that makes more sense. Where are the doors? I've lost them. I just put them in a completely different place. There they are. Okay, let's resume recording. Let's also place some of the flower pots and wither roses that I came to put in here in the first place. We'll leave the rest of the wither roses for the minute. What's the mod I'm using? This is Lightmatica. Lightmatica is one of my favorite pieces of content. How tall do we go with this? Oh god, I can't even tell. Exactly that tall. Perfect. Can't believe Empires is over. All good things gotta end. And there are many more things that we will all be part of that I'm sure you will like just as much. What do I think of the criticisms of Empire Season 2 in general? Not sure if it's vocal minority or an actual widespread opinion, but still. I think all criticism like that is valid. I just don't think there's anything that we are interested in doing about it, which may seem kind of selfish, but this has always been our own artistic vision, and the idea of there not being a central villain has been part of planning of Empire's Season 2 from the very beginning, so to an extent we are sort of sticking to our guns. Much as I hate that phrase. I think people who wanted us to just do the same thing again maybe have misunderstood what it is we're here to do. Because we're a bunch of artists, and like more often than not we find ourselves wanting to try new things. Don't have any stone brick stairs. Don't have the stone cutter. So that's fine. We'll continue to not have those. here for the separation of it all, and let's bring the stonecutter with us this time. What else I need to do here? There's wood and stuff. There's andesite over there. We have this coral box, which I think has the stuff that we need. It's definitely got fire and tube coral. Doesn't have a whole lot of bubble coral, but I know we can go and get some of that. A lot of people going at Joel in his comments for his ironic ending and not very lore-y, as if sarcasm is not what they should expect from Joel. Yeah. I think one of the major takeaways I've had, I was saying earlier, even from Empires Season 1, was that if people want to tell stories with what we've started as, like if people want to continue to write fan fiction about the stuff that we've started here on Empires, then that is as real to them as any of the stuff that we're going to do. Like, I told people when this series began, and obviously, like, I was back in the conversation when it came to Empires stuff, so I was going to be asked about, like, what I thought happened at the end of Season 1 to, like, the Copper King and the sort of nation of Pixandria that I'd built. And I was saying at the time, whatever you think happened. Like, as far as you're concerned, sure. Like, that's just as valid an ending for any of it as I would have given it. I think it's the problem of fandoms wanting their headcanons to be canon. I mean, sure, but I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. As long as, yeah, like, I guess the problem is more when people just feel disappointed, ultimately, when they're, the ending they get for the season feels unsatisfactory to them. And there's not a whole lot we can really do about that, because there are always going to be some people who are disappointed. Like, there were some people who disappointed when the majority of last season turned out to be about this fictional demon character, because some people just wanted us to play Minecraft. Some people on the server just wanted us to play Minecraft, for that matter. But, yeah, I think it's really just about, about feeling how you want to feel about it, and not being apologetic about that. Because I don't think any of us are going to, like, apologize for the way we ended our series, because it's all ended in exactly the way we wanted to end it. As far as I'm aware, at least. I like not being told how to feel about art. Yeah, sure. That is absolutely your prerogative, I feel. That is a stonecutter, not a torch, but I appreciate the effort, sir. Occurs to me that I never did this side of the wall. I do hope there's going to be a way I can follow all of this happening in the replay, because I've not built this in a particularly, like, coherent stage-by-stage kind of way. But this feels authentic to how I've built it, both in creative and in survival. Like, I hopped around between stuff while I was designing this in creative quite frequently. I'm not going to have enough to finish this wall anyway. And I did that because the way it felt at the time was that if I was placing any blocks, if I was making progress on any part of the build, then that was a good thing. You know, that was not going to be like progress somehow taken away from other parts of the build if I stopped what I was doing and just focused on whatever was inspiring me at that time. The polished andesite is in here. I needed that. Twitter is freaking out that I said no Season 3. Well, good for them. Like, they should know that at this point. Like, there wasn't a Season 2 immediately after Season 1 of Empires. And we don't know if there's going to be a Season 3 yet. The thing is, for there to be a Season 3 of Empires, we all have to kind of agree that Season 3 of Empires is happening, and we haven't had that discussion yet. Is this just solid stone bricks, or just stone? What's going on here? Stone bricks. Stone bricks. Cool. Oh yeah, of course, this is the... That's how that works. This is the bit where you have two dark oak sections in the middle, yeah. With Empires, I feel like people need to have plans for what they want to do, and that takes time. I mean, yes and no. I think very few of us had really solid plans for what we wanted to do going into Empires Season 1. And people already have decided amongst themselves that they preferred the way we did stuff that season, so... The funny thing is, this time around we went in with a lot more preparation for what we all wanted to do. But I think maybe that adapted less well to situations where, for various reasons, we wanted to change things. Like if it didn't feel like something was going to work out, like, along the way. Then it felt like the stuff that people had planned this entire time didn't necessarily align with what other people wanted. Whereas in Season 1, we just kind of like, we went with the flow a lot more. But we didn't plan out a great deal of that stuff in advance. Oh, that's just going to be stone behind there, isn't it? Let's come back and put the copper ore in later. Honestly, it would be cool to see regular old vanilla Minecraft with the Empire's crew. Just like hanging out and playing Minecraft for Minecraft's sake, kind of Hermitcraft style. Part of the idea behind Empires in general is that we don't just repeat what Hermitcraft do. And I think it's both a good thing and a bad thing. Because I think there needs to be... There's a double slab here, this can just be a plank. I think there needs to be, to a certain extent, a variety of places like Hermitcraft, servers like Hermitcraft. Hey, look who it is. Yeah, I think there need to be, like, more servers like Hermitcraft out there just so Hermitcraft doesn't have, like, the monopoly on vanilla Minecraft getting played. But when you start a project like a multiplayer server with a bunch of your friends, like Empires is, you run the risk of feeling like you're just copying Hermitcraft over and over again. And so you naturally want to pivot the series into something a little different. But then that means nobody ever contests Hermitcraft's monopoly on multiplayer servers in general, right? Weird how I just didn't have that there in the schematic. Again, I've only copied and pasted very, very occasionally when it comes to some of these builds. I was honestly not expecting there to be anyone else online today. That's kind of a nice surprise. Whoa, what happened there? Was that a lag spike? I feel like that was a lag spike. Might be Lizzie loading her villagers. So we've kind of got a thing going on here. Let's see it through, shall we? We need those dark oak slabs I just put away. Lizzie and her populated metropolis, that's the one. Popatropolis. We have reached 6 PM my time, which is usually the time I wrap up the stream. I know we started a little bit earlier. And obviously I've not done everything I wanted to do on this stream so far, but I think it's reaching the point where I want to be able to take a bit of a break. So I'm going to try and get a little bit more done. And then we might end up calling it. Before I'm finished building absolutely everything that's in this schematic, but like I said, we'll see. We'll go for a little bit longer. We'll go for maybe like half an hour longer. And see what I can get accomplished in that time. Oh, the one advantage to having other people on the server, obviously there's a lot of advantages, but one specific advantage that I was just hit by was the fact that I don't need to sleep every time. Place those doors that I said I was going to place ages ago. There they go. There's one. There's this one that we open. And then there's that one. Cool. Aspen, thank you for the 3 months. How many more videos do I plan to release for Empires? 1. Is the castle I've been building for the couple of weeks going to be in one video? Yes. So my goal for the final episode of Empires is really to get this time-lapse done. Show the process of the castle being built, but sort of tell the story of the castle at the same time. So the... instead of, like, music... I mean, there's still going to be music, because, you know, it kind of helps set the tone, but the idea behind the whole final episode for me is that it's going to be like, I don't know, kind of telling the story of the world, which is sort of what I set out to do with this series to begin with. Which seems kind of ambitious, but it's one of the only ways I'm going to get a time-lapse this long into it. Is to have a long story to tell. Let's just break through here so we can get this part in. This is something kind of important when you're building stuff, by the way, is to consider like the direction of the textures that you're placing. And if you want stuff to feel rounded, I have found horizontal textures work a lot better than vertical ones. And when it comes to block placement as well, placing blocks in a horizontal formation in strips of horizontal blocks makes a lot more sense than placing them vertically. So you'll notice here I avoid having any kind of like vertical segments of planks, both because the planks themselves look kind of weird. They kind of go against that idea of verticality, but also because it helps the whole thing feel more rounded. Now here's the question. How many smooth stone slabs do I have? How many more would I need to make to get that roof section done? I think I might have enough. Does that look like 49 slabs to you? Don't answer that. It will be enough. It will not be enough. It's fine, I have more. I just need to go and get more resources. I need more mangrove wood. I think mangrove wood is about the only thing I'm missing here. Plus bubble coral. Mangrove woods. One thing I'm curious about is whether a nether portal still exists on the nether roof out towards the ocean empire, the forgotten ocean empire that we built for the Project Seagrass Love Tropics livestream. Whatever you don't get finished, would you be kind enough to leave us a download of the schematic as well? Oh, I will finish everything that's part of the schematic. I mean, even if I just end up coming back to this after dinner. I think it's out this way, actually. Past Jimmy. Yeah, like I will absolutely get all of the stuff that's in the schematic done, and I don't have a schematic for anything else. Because I've basically been designing this as I go, and I dump everything I've done up to that point into survival. So I don't have like a full castle built in creative. Is it horn coral that I want, or is it bubble coral? We definitely need bubble coral. No further south. More north, please. I'll be flying away from my own nether portal. Okay, this is going to be real awkward to build, but we'll try it anyway. Also, I need to replace the chair. Resume the recording. I need to know what that block is. Okay, that's stripped mangrove wood. Good. I'm going to make the entire thing out of stripped mangrove wood for now, despite the fact that those are clearly nether gold ores. This is dark oak, and the back is stone. Okay, well, we'll keep the back as stone for now. Which way around does this go? This is more stripped mangrove wood. The distinction between wood and logs, obviously very important here. Why does that say y-axis? It shouldn't. Got one deep slate block for this. Chill music. I wish I could take credit for it, but that is the chill playlist, or the chill hop playlist on Pretzel. Gonna put the rest of the basalt in there. Right, now comes an interesting part. Make as much mossy stone bricks as I can. And that is just the blocks. It's not anything more significant than that. Okay, good. Can also continue this dark oak wood arm back. Oh, if only I had some deep slate gold ore in there, that would have been perfect. Alright, fire coral and tube coral is what we need. I need a bit more. And I'm gonna sleep. Hopefully people are fine with me doing that. Okay, I need mud bricks here. I need cracked stone bricks also. Regular stone bricks. And then another mossy one there. Where are the cracked stone bricks at? Bring some andesite with me as well. We'll drop all this wood off where we can. Cracked stone bricks, there we go. Bring more of those. And then mud bricks we do have, thank goodness. He's brought the stone cutter with him this time. And I'll be making a lot of andesite walls. Because that's what this whole thing needs. I decided to do like a relief carving, I suppose is what you'd call it. I'm sure that's a relief to hear. And one of the things that really helps it stand out is using walls instead of full blocks. Might be some stone brick walls in here somewhere, so I'll take those. Yeah, the walls really do help to help the materials in here stand out. Do I have any more acacia? I feel like I saw more acacia in here somewhere. But that may be all we have. Yeah, okay. Okay, and this is acacia wood, so we're going to have to sacrifice a little bit of that. Okay, apparently that's facing the wrong way. Still facing the wrong way. I was probably placing it against a background or something. Never mind. Like that, up one like that, up one and across one like this. Up one and across one like that. Then fire coral here, which is going to die. And then up one more like this. Okay, and there's a couple more there. Go and take down an acacia tree somewhere. Don't know if I still have any inside the castle grounds. I'll take this one. Perfect. How much of the castle is left to build? More than I will manage to get done before the server is dead. But, that's fine. The amount that is left to build in terms of this schematic I have here are this much. It's really just that. And then like a roof section over there that I haven't finished. But, that's fine. It'll work. We need the tube coral as well. That's fire coral there. That's bubble coral there. That's tube coral there. Boop. We have another one over here as well, right? Yeah, okay. So let's go bubble coral. One there. That's facing the wrong way. Is it that way? No. Is it Z-axis? X-axis. Who cares? That's tube coral. That's bubble coral. That's another acacia woods. That's tube coral there. That's another acacia wood. I think that's it. Oh no, there's 2 more. 3 more. We have 3 left. That's perfect. Okay, this is going to be kind of difficult to see, but we'll deal with that. So this is fire coral right here. And the next one goes on top of this, yeah? Good. The tube goes on top of that. That's fire coral there. Oh, that's horn coral, but we don't have that on us right now. That was kind of the worst block to have placed there. Ah. Alright, let's go get it. Where did that go? We don't have horn coral on us. Can you make blocks of this in our... No, we don't have the crafting recipe. Sometimes you add a crafting recipe for that. Where it's like plants and fans, but we don't have it. Okay, I'll just substitute something else. But yeah, this is meant to be a tree, if you can tell. This is kind of inspired, as most other things are in this, by Elden Ring, in which there are lots of carvings of the Erd tree in various places. The Erd tree is like the big tree at the center of the map. And then surrounding this, we have lots of walls. They attach quite neatly to stuff like this. We get up here and try and... Ah! Try and hop up onto this. There we go. I think from here we'll need scaffolding. Scaffold from the throne on upwards. Might as well just get this side finished before we focus on the other side. These frog-like tree carvings? No, I guess. Like, I think this is more just like tree in general. Though I guess, like, at this point, it's more likely to be related to anywhere there was a custom tree in Season 1. Again, that's horn coral. We'll substitute tube coral. More andesite walls needed. Yeah, a few of these just aren't going to be the right one, and that's fine. I'll get some sleep. And then that is where we're going to wrap things up. I will briefly show you folks what this looks like without all of the schematic stuff. Which I think looks pretty cool, actually. It's going to have like an arch of a roof going over it to kind of conceal how triangular the top of the tree looks. But like, I really like that. I don't like this. This I'm not a fan of. Especially since it means there could be creepers around. So I better get out of my increased FOV. Put some weapons back on my hotbar. And yeah, so there's going to be like a roof section over this. The roof is going to be partially broken out. I reckon that's where we'll leave it for the stream, though. So yeah, to see the finished thing, you are going to have to watch the video, and that's really not intentional. I had hoped to get everything in the schematic done at this point, but I've been live for about 4 hours. Haven't had a break. Really need a break. And yeah, this is going to be the last little bit of building that'll happen, like, later tonight, I suppose. The final stream, yes. And the final stream is now ending, so that'll be it. That's a wrap for streams from Empires SMP. I will briefly take you on a quick fly around to show you how the castle looks so far. Because honestly, I'm quite happy with this. Like, we got a lot done on this stream even. We have a little left to do. But if I land here, I can go up with free cam and show you this. It's getting there. It's getting there. Obviously, like, with the rest of that, like, Great Hall section filled in, it's going to have a little bit more interest to the skyline. But that's really all I'll have time to do today, and ain't no time after that. Folks, thank you so much for hanging out with me today, for enjoying the Empire's SMP stuff. There we go. And yeah, we'll be back. I'll be back in a week because Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday I will be in Spain or traveling. So you won't see me until the Tuesday following. But we'll do a Chopping Tuesday of some sort. Maybe in a completely different world. I won't have started Survival Guide by then unless 1.20 is out, and I doubt I'll stream much from Survival Guide in the first little while anyway, so we might just do a bingo stream or something. We might figure something else out that we can do. Who knows? We'll see. It's a brand new world out there. In the meantime, who shall we raid? Alright, Zloy XP is streaming. I guess we'll go raid Zloy. Always good to spend more time with him since we didn't get to do the Elden Ring stream the other day. So, yeah, go say hi to Zloy for me, who's the other half of the Hermitcraft recap team, aside from Liara, of course. He's 1/3 of the Hermitcraft recap team. Yes, my frequent partner in crime at this point. Crimes against Hermitcraft specifically. Give Zloy my best. You can use your Pixel Hype emotes and the hashtag PixelRaid to show some love. I will see you guys in about a week's time. And hope you'll have a great week in the meantime. I'll see you all soon. Take care. Bye for now.